Welcome to Friendly Math 101. Today's lesson is over congruent figures. We're going to be looking at congruent triangles particularly. So if we have triangle ABC congruent to triangle DEF, then let me draw these two triangles. So A, B, C, D, E, F. You want to position them in the same order. So since I did A to the left, B up top, C to the right, I wanted to do the same thing with D to the left, E up top, and F to the right. So they're in line with each other. Now, when we're looking at congruent triangles, we want to talk about how their sides and their angles are related. So if you have A in the same position as D, these angles are going to be equal. B is in the same position as E, so these two angles will be equal. And C is in the same position as F, so these angles will be equal. Now looking at sides, again you want to look at their position, how it's written. AB, so side AB here, is going to be congruent to DE. So these two are congruent to these two, DE. That's also why we wanted to position our letters in that way, because they actually correspond. So AB is on the left-hand side, DE will also be the segment on the left-hand side. Now we go to BC. BC is going to be congruent to EF. And then our last side is first and last, so AC is congruent to DF. So you actually don't have to have them drawn out, but I think it's a little bit easier to see. Again, really important to position them in the same way. That way you can easily see what is congruent. So let's move on to our first example. This says triangle RST is congruent to UVW. So you can see these are positioned how we want them. We want to find the measure of angle S and the measure of angle W, which is here. So we want to find those two angles. The first thing I notice is I have an angle measure for T and W. These are in the same position. They're in the same position here as well, so they are congruent, which means I can set these two equal to each other, solve for x, and then I can figure out what W is equal to. So 5x minus 3 equals 3x plus 7. I'll move the 3x over. 2x minus 3 equals 7. Add 3 to both sides. 2x equals 10. Divide by 2, and so we get x equals 5. Remember, it didn't ask for x, it actually asked for w. So w is 3x plus 7. We found x was 5, so I'm going to plug in 5 for that x. So 3 times 5 plus 7. That's going to be w. That's 15 plus 7. And so the measure of angle W is 22 degrees. Okay, now we have, this is 22 degrees. So we have 2 out of 3 angles in this triangle here. Let's go ahead and find V, the third angle. So let's go ahead and add these together. Then we have this angle V that we don't know. All of those equal 180 because the sum of angles in a triangle always will add up to 180. Combine like terms. 71 plus 22 is 93. Subtract 93 from both sides and we will get B is equal to 87. Okay, now it didn't ask me for V. V is 87. But it did ask me for S. S and V are in the same position, which means they are congruent, they are equal. So by finding V, I've actually found S, which is 87 degrees. And those would be my answers. Okay, so our next example, angle ABC is congruent to, or triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF. Find X and Y. Now these are not positioned the same. A and D should be in the same place, but they're not. So you could redraw, and so they're in the same position if you wanted to, or you could just look at the positioning of the letters here. I'm going to go ahead and redraw it. So I want D in the same position as A, E in the same position as B, and F in the same position as C, just using the lettering up here. Then I can go ahead and label. So DF is X plus 1, that's down here. E is 49, and F is 10Y. Okay, now I can kind of ignore this picture up here and just look between these two. First I want to find X. So if you look, my only X's are going to be on the bottom, AC and DF. Those are congruent, so I set them equal to each other to solve for X. Okay, so I will go ahead and subtract an X from both sides. 2X minus X is X. These will zero out. Add 9. These will zero out, and I get X is equal to 10. Okay, now let's find Y. So when we're finding Y, something that would be very helpful in this triangle would be to figure out what D is. So if I go look at my congruent triangle, if I know what A is, then I actually also know what D is. So I do know what A is, it's 61, which means D is also 61. That's why it's good to reposition it, because then you can see these are obviously equal, they're in the same spot. Now I can add all these up, set it equal to 180, solve for Y. So 49 plus 61 plus 10Y equals 180. Combine like terms, 110 plus 10Y equals 180. Subtract 110 from both sides. I won't show it because I'm running out of room. 180 minus 110 is 70. Divide both sides by 10. Again, I won't show it because I'm running out of room. But when you divide 70 by 10, you get 7. So those are my answers. X is 10, Y is 7. Thank you for watching. And for more math tutorials, please subscribe to our channel, Friendly Math 101.